What's up, guys? It is IRGT85. Happy Monday, but I mean, video game news, we gotta talk about stuff. So if this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, be sure to like and share the video as well. But without any further ado, let's talk about what's going on in the world of video games, and we're gonna start things off with Kena. Now, Kena is a game that I've actually had my eye on for quite a while. Ever since we first saw this game, I really liked what we saw from it. It looked sort of like a Legend of Zelda sort of action-adventure game, and I really liked everything about this game. The graphics, the music, the characters themselves, but there's been a lot of controversy surrounding this game. Now, this video could date very poorly, but I don't necessarily think it will, because I'm just sort of talking about what's happening with Kena, why some people are worried about it, and should they be worried about it. But basically, reviews are not going out for this game until the game actually launches. And as far as the reviews are concerned, initially they sent out many emails to people saying, hey, would you like to review Kena? And a lot of people responded with yes, and then those people never got a review copy of the game. It seems like review copies of this game have been somewhat limited, and when you factor in the fact that also this was not at the latest Sony presentation, which I mean had a very long Deathloop presentation, this game was obviously coming out after Deathloop. Now people are sort of concerned about this game, like, is there a problem with the quality of the game? One of the game's directors actually left during the middle of the game's development, so what is up with Kena? And I don't think it's necessarily going to be a bad game or anything like that, but I think we've sort of seen warning signs about what to sort of expect with this game, and I feel like people might have gotten their expectations a bit too high with this. Really, the first thing that I noticed with Kena was the price point of this game and the release of this game. This is only a $40 game, and of course it's only going to be a digital release, at least as of right now. So to me, that says one thing: we really need to keep our expectations in line with this game. I don't think it was ever meant to be a big, huge adventure that's going to take you 12 to 15 hours or something like that. I think this is going to be a much shorter game, something around 4 to 5 hours or something like that. And that's sort of the reason why we haven't really seen much gameplay from this game, because they don't want to ruin the experience and sort of spoil the experience of what you're going to have when you are playing this game. So to me, this is sort of a situation where people hype themselves up so much about this game and they expected the world, and maybe Sony and the company that's actually developing this game sort of realized that, hey, we need to take a step back because people's expectations are way out of line with this game. I think the most telling thing would have to be the price point of the game, though, because you know, if this was a huge grandiose adventure that was going to last you 10 plus hours, Sony would do everything they could to make this a $70 game. It is an exclusive on PlayStation platforms, on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5. So personally, I think Kena is going to be absolutely fine. I don't think the lack of review copies is a huge concern or anything like that, because this whole time when I've seen this game, I've been able to keep my expectations in line. I've been able to sort of understand what this game is going to be. It's going to be a top tier indie game that uses a 3D engine that's going to look really good and have some fun combat, but it's not going to be this super long, huge adventure. This isn't a game that you would make as sort of your cornerstone of your holiday lineup. And since this is really the last PlayStation exclusive game that's coming out in 2021, I think people wanted this to be that sort of Legend of Zelda-like experience, that Super Mario experience, that sort of game that really brings people in. So I think Kena will be fine. I think for what it is, it's going to be a really fun game, but I just don't think it's this huge, long adventure like everyone hoped it would be. But it's going to be very interesting. I'm definitely keeping my eyes on the review scores. I'm going to pick up this game anyways. I, of course, didn't get a review copy because nobody likes me in the world of video games as far as the higher ups are concerned, but I'm definitely interested in checking out this game. But you kind of need to keep your expectations in line. I'm pretty sure I'm spot on with this. I'll definitely update you guys once the reviews start hitting and once the game releases, because, well, I'll be able to prove whether I was right or wrong with it, but I have a sneaking suspicion I'm right. Next up, a new collection of Disney games called the Disney Classics Games Collection. That's a really innovative name right there. Leaked a couple weeks ago, and this is pretty much an advancement of what we saw with Aladdin and Lion King, but now we have some additional details on this game. It still hasn't been officially confirmed by Nighthawk and Disney quite yet, but I do find it very interesting that they're adding in another game into this, because like I said, this is sort of piggybacking off of the Aladdin and Lion King double pack that we got. Now, the lineup of games games for this includes the following. You have Aladdin on the SNES, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Genesis. You have Aladdin Final Cut for the Genesis, Aladdin Demo version for the Genesis, Aladdin Japanese version for the Genesis, The Lion King Super NES, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Sega Genesis, The Lion King the Japanese version for the Sega Genesis, and The Jungle Book for the Super Nintendo, Game Boy, and Sega Genesis. Now right off the bat, you should notice a few different things. The SNES version of Aladdin was not included on the original Aladdin and the Lion King double pack, so that's sort of a very different experience as well. I'm kind of surprised they didn't include like the Master System or the Game Gear version of Disney's Aladdin either, because that game is very different than the other versions of the game. I actually have an imported copy of the Master System version, and I love it. Like, it's very different than all the other versions of Aladdin. But of course, Aladdin on the Super Nintendo was a different sort of experience that Capcom created instead of, I believe, Virgin Entertainment and Disney themselves worked on the Genesis version of the game. So it's not a bad game or anything like that. I think the Genesis version is better. There are weirdos out there who think it's better on the Super Nintendo, but obviously the bigger story here is the inclusion of the Jungle Book games. Now, I've never played these games. I don't know anything about them. I've never owned them or anything like that, but it's nice to see Disney going into the back catalog of stuff and re-releasing stuff, because we've actually heard rumors about Marvel vs. Capcom 2 potentially getting a new revolution and being put onto modern platforms, because Disney has heard people's cries about this. Now, let's be real here. Disney is kind of a scumbag company, you know, but the one thing that always drives Disney is money. And if there's money to be made, I feel like they will go into their back catalog of games and re-release stuff. So while on the surface level, you know, it does kind of suck, like, I think the end that justifies the means with this. And as long as Disney is putting out these classic games that involve Disney characters in them, like, I'm totally on board with it. Go ahead, Mickey Mouse. Go ahead and just release all these old classic games that a lot of people haven't played or people played in their youth. And of course, there's no easy way to play them on current consoles. So what's up with the Jungle Book? Is this a game I'm going to like? Let me know in the comments down below. And finally, we were about 3 weeks away from the launch of the Nintendo Switch OLED model. Of course, that launches on October 8th, and a lot of people are looking forward to this. I'm one of those people because I like to get my hands on new technology and talk about it and share it with you guys. But there's been a lot of people that are sort of on the fence or don't really believe in the Nintendo Switch OLED model because, well, really at the end of the day, there's only two different things with the system. If you don't play the system in handheld mode, the new screen is completely lost on you. And of course, the new dock, which is very mysterious and getting firmware updates and whatnot for it. What does that mean for the future? I don't know, but it could mean something interesting as far as what Nintendo is going to do with future systems. Well, Nintendo of Tokyo is a retailer in Tokyo, Japan, and they actually put out the Nintendo Switch OLED model. This is the first time it has been seen in the public beyond the initial video that we saw from Nintendo themselves, sort of debuting this system. And really, there's not a whole lot to talk about, but I will say, going through these pictures, the one thing that really jumps out as far as what this system does that the current base Nintendo Switch does not do has to be that lack of a smaller bezel on this system, because you get so much more glimpse of the screen. Like, looking at these pictures here, you could see like this bezel on it is very, very small, meaning that you get more of the screen to look at when you're playing it in handheld mode. And I think that's going to be a big deal, a big improvement for the system, because it just looks so much better. Of course, when they're taking pictures of these things, which are being taken off camera, this isn't direct feed footage or anything like that. Another thing you definitely notice is just how crisp and vibrant the screen is. If you ever try to take a picture, an external picture of your Nintendo Switch in handheld mode, the current model, like it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. Like, it doesn't look all that great. It doesn't really, you have to have like good lighting and whatnot with this, whereas this is like people are just whipping out their cell phones, taking pictures of it, and like, bam, it's right there in your face. So I think it's going to be very interesting how this system plays out, because I think a lot of people are sort of downplaying just what this screen is going to do for the system. It looks a lot better. It gives you more of a viewing space as well. The colors look more vibrant and dense and whatnot. So I think it's going to be a big addition for the Switch, you know, and that whole dock situation is very weird, but now we're starting to see this system being rolled out into retailers. But I have a problem with one retailer, Walmart. So that's where I pre-ordered my Nintendo Nintendo Switch OLED model from Walmart. So I'm in the process of moving, so I went to Walmart's website to change the shipping address for this system, and I couldn't do it. And I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. Let me get in touch with customer service. So I got in touch with customer service, and they informed me that I could not change my address for the pre-order. But if I wanted to cancel the pre-order and then reorder the system, I could do that and put my new address. And I was like, you don't have the system on your website. Why can I not change a pre-order address when the system hasn't shipped yet? It's not shipping out for several weeks. I'm moving, like, and they were just like, no, you can't do it. You can cancel your order and go about your life, or you can just keep your order in here and it'll be shipped to your old address. So now I'm gonna have to jump through all these hoops. I have like furniture coming in on the day. It's stupid. Walmart, you need to change your shit. All right, there's no reason why I cannot change my pre-order address for the Nintendo Switch OLED. It's not out yet. I don't understand why this is a problem in any way, shape, or form. You haven't shipped it yet, so why can't I change my address? Go to hell, Walmart. Alrighty, so that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to let me know what you think of everything in the comments section down below, including my new fancy audio. I worked on this one night when I couldn't sleep to make it sound better for you guys because I spoil you guys. And as always, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like and share the video as well. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.